Episode 4 of Euphoria Season 3 starts with Rue in police custody. The sniffer dogs have found fentanyl in her car, but the line of inquiry doesn't stop there. In the interview room, Rue is questioned specifically about Lori and her ties to Mexico. Rue claims she's never been to Mexico, despite her being photographed meeting a Mexican cartel member named Uno. He operates a club 20 minutes from the border. Rue could be put away for a long time here if she's not careful. She's either looking at decades behind bars, or she has to become the DEA's confidential source and help take down the drug runners. When Rue returns to Alamo, holding pills that have been switched out for sugar pills and laxatives, she's understandably on edge. There's also been a new app installed on her phone too, and she's told to keep it out in the open as much as possible. Elsewhere, Nate has been patched up, with his toe sewn back on. He sees it as a metaphor for gluing parts of his life together. When Nate mentions he owes $1 million to Naz, Cassie is shocked and scoffs at their marriage, telling him the fairy tale is over. As a result, Cassie rings Maddie to help. She packs up her things and leaves Nate. Cass then gets a makeover to update her from the suburbs to the city. Once that's done, it's on to Hollywood. Alexi gives Jules a new opportunity to paint a portrait, but it doesn't go to plan. Jules winds up painting something rather provocative, and the producers are not happy. They call on Lexi to handle this elegantly, where Jules is apparently struggling to get rid of the nudity she's painted, so instead she just splashes red paint over it. Classy. Unfortunately, this delay has cost the studio $56,000 in shooting. They have to hold the studio for another week, which has cost a further $191,000 on top of that. That's a lot of cash, and Lexi is told by the director, in no uncertain terms, not to be a net negative. Meanwhile, Lori is grief-stricken after losing her bird, and there's no way she's going to do business with Alamo anytime soon. That puts Rue in a rather sticky situation, given it's the only reason Rue has been let go by the DEA. Nate decides on a Hail Mary in the middle of this and attends court, trying to find a way around this endangered flower situation. Given it can't be built around or on, it's put him in a very difficult spot. Nate even gets down on his knees and begs the California board for help. He's denied and breaks down, crying. Elsewhere, Maddie starts working on turning Cassie into a new internet porn star, right across the way from Lexi. She's obviously not happy, especially as Lexi is trying her best to do things on the straight and narrow without selling her body, or, in the case of Rue, drugs. Speaking of which, Rue questions Alamo about drug running in Mexico, and it obviously makes her very suspicious. Alamo calls her out for being a rat or even using drugs. Rue takes the opportunity to segue away from this line of inquiry and admits she had a slip up. It's super tense, but thankfully she comes out of this in one piece, with the card game they're playing working as a solid distraction. A game that Rue wins, I may add. Is this a subtle bit of foreshadowing maybe? Anyway, word spreads Angel has run away from rehab, and her locker is replaced with a new stripper called Kitty. Unfortunately, stripping isn't all it's chalked up to be, which she finds out unfortunately, when a couple of punters wind up using her in one of the bedrooms. Rue is shocked by what she sees on the monitors, and I'm not about to explain it here. Back with Cassie and Maddie, the latter takes Cassie out to a party that night. Their destination is Brandon Fontaine's house. This guy has 20 million followers online, so Cassie is tasked with posting a video of her looking hot to help jumpstart her adult career. Cassie easily manages to get it done, and she even winds up ditching Maddie at the party too. Maddie calls on someone called Smiles to help, and Brandon is caught with Cassie in bed. Back at the club, Rue is caught by Magic, another stripper, asking Kitty if she wants to work or if she's being forced into it. Rue is ringing all sorts of alarm bells here with her questioning. She leaves her phone in the office too, but Mum rings and Rue is allowed to answer. It happens to be the DEA agents, who warn her that she's compromised and they think she's a snitch. She needs to find a way to discredit Magic. As the pair fight, masked men suddenly burst into the office and demand the safe be opened. After shooting Eddie in the stomach, he reluctantly opens the safe and the men race off with the gear. As they do, Magic looks at the footage and relays back to Alamo what's happening. Rue gets a good look at the driver as they zoom in on her lips and claim that it's Faye. The DEA, of course, are listening in the whole time. Well, Rue is very lucky that she didn't have to put her phone on speakerphone when her mum called there. She's not the sharpest tool in the shed, is she? And has now proven that as a forced snitch, she's going to be ringing all sorts of alarm bells and not exactly staying subtle about things. The robbery at the club was very obviously Laurie's guys, especially the Southern drawl guy calling Eddie boy the whole time and then leaving while shouting "Yeehaw." However, this is clearly going to have big ramifications for where things go for the rest of the season. I still can't quite figure out Bishop either. He's a cool character no doubt, but could he also be an undercover cop? During that poker game, he was guiding Rue back into the game again and not backing up Alamo when he was questioning whether she was a snitch. It's almost like he was making sure she doesn't reveal too much. Meanwhile, Jules' small bit of screen time shows her as selfish and narcissistic, actually sabotaging Lexi's livelihood for her own gains. I'm not sure why she thought it was a good idea to do that painting for a network TV show and then act dumb about why it's an issue. It does her character absolutely no favours, and surely she's not so dense to think that that would have been okay. Elsewhere, Maddie has a new girl to pimp out, and that of course is Cassie. I genuinely thought that she might backstab Cass with the bedroom incident and besmirch her reputation completely. Much like with Bishop, I still can't quite figure out if Maddie is being completely legit here. But I guess her desire to be rich and having missed out on that once already, she's not about to let this golden goose go anytime soon. Beyond that though, Nate's downfall seems complete and it's unclear whether we'll actually see him again this season. I've said this so many times now so I won't keep repeating it, but Cassie, the girl with a big heart who was so conflicted about her love for Nate in season 2 and also not wanting to hurt her friends, is now quite happy to just up and leave her husband when she realises there's no money in it for her anymore. Really? Would she not have maybe stepped up and decided to double down on her adult career for their marriage? Instead, we get her ditching her new husband and leaving him in her dust, and in fact she doesn't even care. But then this goes for a lot of characters in this show. A lot of them are acting like caricatures of themselves, and some of the tonal shifts this year, compared to what we've seen before from Euphoria, feel very glaring. As we cross the halfway point of this season though, the war between Laurie and Alamo is far from over. But perhaps a more pressing question comes from Rue. Will she manage to keep up this facade, or is she going to be caught? Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.